I never imagined the worst betrayal of my life would come from my own son, the boy I carried for 9 months. The child I raised alone after his father died, the person I trusted more than anyone else in this world. Yet one phone call changed everything. That morning started like any other. I woke up early, made myself a cup of coffee, and sat by the kitchen window. My son's wedding was only 1 day away. Despite our growing distance over the years, I was excited. I had spent months helping him prepare. I had contributed money for the venue, decorations, catering, and countless other expenses. I wanted his wedding to be perfect. As I sipped my coffee, I decided to check my bank account. At first, I thought I was seeing things. I refreshed the screen. Then I refreshed it again. My balance showed zero. Not a few dollars. Not a small mistake. Everything was gone. My entire life savings had disappeared. My hands started shaking. I immediately contacted the bank. The representative confirmed that every dollar had been legally withdrawn the previous day. My stomach dropped. Before I could even process what was happening, my phone rang. The caller ID showed my son's name. I answered instantly. "Mom," he said casually. His voice sounded strangely calm. Then he spoke words I will never forget. "Tomorrow is my wedding. Vanessa and I needed the money. I withdrew everything from your account." I felt the room spinning. "What are you talking about?" I asked. Then he said something even worse. "Oh, and the house is sold too. Good luck." For a moment, I couldn't speak. I thought he was joking. I thought this had to be some misunderstanding. But it wasn't. He continued speaking as if he were discussing the weather. "You'll manage. You're strong. Vanessa and I deserve a fresh start." Then the call ended. Just like that. My own son had emptied my bank account and taken my home. I sat alone in silence. The walls around me suddenly felt unfamiliar. Every memory in that house flashed before my eyes. Birthday parties, Christmas mornings, family dinners. The place where I had raised him. The place where his father and I built our life together. And now it was gone. I should have cried. I should have screamed. Instead, I became very calm, because beneath the heartbreak, something didn't feel right. Years earlier, my late husband had always warned me about protecting certain assets. There were documents, legal arrangements, things we had put in place for emergencies. Most importantly, there was one person who knew every detail. Our family attorney. I picked up my phone and called him. Within an hour, I was sitting in his office. After reviewing the paperwork, his expression became serious. Then he smiled slightly. "Your son may have made a very expensive mistake." For the first time that day, I felt hope. The attorney explained that while my son had gained access to some accounts, there were legal protections connected to other assets. Several transactions raised serious concerns. More importantly, my late husband's trust contained provisions that could not be touched. Not by my son, not by anyone. The attorney began making calls. By evening, legal notices were prepared, investigations were started, and several financial actions were already underway. Then he looked at me and asked one question. "Are you attending the wedding tomorrow?" I paused. Then I nodded. Yes. The next day arrived. The wedding venue looked like something from a fairy tale. Flowers lined every walkway. Elegant decorations covered every table. Guests smiled and laughed. Nobody knew what had happened. My son stood proudly near the altar. Vanessa looked happier than ever. To everyone else, this was the beginning of a beautiful life together. But I knew something they didn't. The ceremony began. Music filled the room. Guests stood. The bride started walking down the aisle. Then suddenly the doors opened. The music stopped. Every head turned. 2 legal representatives entered the venue. The room fell silent. My son's confident smile disappeared instantly. The representatives walked directly toward him. A thick envelope was placed in his hands. He looked confused. Then he started reading. His face turned white. Vanessa grabbed the documents. She read them. Then she looked even more shocked. Whispers spread throughout the crowd. The legal documents informed them that several transactions were under investigation. Assets connected to the family trust were permanently unavailable to them. Inheritance rights had been revoked. Financial transfers were frozen. The future they thought they had secured overnight was gone. Completely gone. My son looked around the room in panic. Guests stared. Family members whispered. The celebration had transformed into a nightmare. Then he saw me. For several seconds, we simply looked at each other. Finally, he rushed toward me. "Mom, please," he said. His voice was trembling now. Not confident, not arrogant, afraid. "We can talk about this." I remembered every sacrifice I had made for him. Every night I worked overtime. Every bill I paid. Every dream I gave up. And how easily he had thrown it all away. Not because he needed help. Not because he was desperate, because he believed he could, because he thought I was too weak to fight back. I looked directly into his eyes. Then I quietly said, "I would have given you anything if you had asked." Tears filled his eyes, but my decision was already made. Trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. Some betrayals leave scars that never disappear. I turned around and walked away. Behind me, chaos erupted. The wedding continued, but nothing was the same. The guests talked. Relationships fractured. Secrets came into the open. And the perfect day they had imagined was ruined forever. Over the next few months, things became even worse for them. The money they thought would solve all their problems disappeared quickly. Legal battles followed. The relationship that seemed so strong under the spotlight began falling apart. Eventually, Vanessa left. Friends disappeared. Opportunities vanished. The shortcuts they chose led them nowhere. As for me, I started over. I moved into a smaller home. I traveled. I reconnected with old friends. Most importantly, I found peace. For years, I believed being a good mother meant sacrificing everything. But I learned an important lesson. Love does not mean allowing people to destroy you. Kindness does not mean accepting betrayal. And forgiveness does not require giving someone another chance to hurt you. Today, people often ask me if I regret walking away. My answer is always the same. No, because the day my son stole my money and sold my house, he thought he had won. But in reality, that was the day I finally stopped being taken for granted. And sometimes, the strongest thing a person can do isn't seeking revenge. It's choosing self-respect. Because those who betray your trust may take your possessions. They may take your money. They may even take your home, but only you decide whether they take your dignity. And that is something no one can ever steal.